Hello and welcome to the Martial Law Basics Guide, Tekken 7 version 3.21. Please note that based on the timing of this video, the new character Fakumam is coming out in less than a week. This means a new version and possible changes. Namco has suggested that balance changes may come with that DLC, so if anything substantial changes for any of the guide videos, I will make a video discussing those changes. But otherwise, there's a lot to cover with Law, even in terms of basics, so this will be part 1 of most likely 3 once again, but you can expect the remaining parts to be released within the week or so. For this first part, we'll be going over his essential moves. The next part, we'll go over some cursory strategies, and finally, we'll cap it off with some juggles, punishers, and other resources that you can go to for more information. So with that, let's chat about the moves you should keep an eye on. DSS is an extremely essential stance for Law. If you want your Law to be next level, you have to use it. But since it's a stance, we'll want to go a bit more in depth, so we'll cover this in the next video when we cover strategies. The same goes for back turn, since that is essentially a mini stance. Again, we'll talk about depth in the next video, but just know for now that Law's jab strings are phenomenal, so jab away. 3-4 is an I-12 knockdown wall splat. Crazy good punisher. It doesn't jail though, so the second hit can be ducked even if the first hit is blocked. 4 by itself is a magic 4 of course, but even continuing the string, you still get your counter hit launch. This is important because 4-3 can go into DSS for big plus frames, particularly on hit, which allows for DSS mix-ups if you use it as a punish. It doesn't jail though, so the second hit can be ducked. 3+4 is a quick, long-range, knockdown, wall-splatting mid. If you finish the string, it's a launcher. Thanks to it being so fast at 14 frames, this may very well be your go-to launcher, period. The second part provides some cover for people trying to punish 3+4, but the second part is high and can be ducked on block, so be careful with that. Forward 1+2 is a little on the slow side, but still a fantastic pressure move. Decent tracking and range. It leaves the opponent in full crouch, which is typically advantageous for the attacker. Law has that option too by holding down. It's also a counter hit launcher, ton of versatility here. Forward 3+4 is slow but very safe, has a fat hitbox, hits grounded, and counter hit launches. Crushes a little late at frame 11, but you'll see Laws do this a lot for Oki, although it can be generally useful against opponents trying to rush in and do lows. Down forward 1 is a fast mid poke with excellent frames, which isn't surprising given that it's a generic down forward 1. It does have low reward extensions if you want them, but it's recommended only to use those on rare occasions to let your opponent know that they're there. This will give you a little bit more in terms of mental frames when you just do a down forward 1 by itself. Generic down forward 2, safe mid launcher, tendency to go under highs. Use this as much as you can. Down forward 4 is a quick, safe, long range mid poke with the threat of a flip follow-up, one of his few good mid range tools. Down forward 3+4 is a quick, high crushing plus frame low with decent range. Knockdown on counter hit as well. Just be careful with it since it's -15 on block. Down 1-3 is a low high string that is a natural combo on counter hit. You can delay it, which allows you to confirm the counter hit, although it is safe on block, so if your opponent isn't ducking the second hit, you can get away with just doing it. Knockdown and wall splat for the second hit. First hit high crushes and leaves you full crouch for full crouch mix-ups. Down 2-3 is a fast, high crushing NCC launch string. Risky but always a threat due to the quick crush frames. Great panic move. Down 4-3 is a fast NC low string. Good tracking, range, and damage. Second hit is high though, so if they read it, every character can easily launch it. Law's toe kick must be done down 3+4. Toe kicks in general are really good, so keep that in mind. His also has the threat of a flip follow-up, which is an NCC launch, so a little boost to the mental frames. Otherwise, fast, good tracking, etc., and he can stay full crouch for mix-ups. Down back 3 is one of the best low pokes in the game. Fast, Good damage, good range, good tracking, plus on hit, knockdown on counter hit, and relatively safe at only negative 12. Does about everything you could possibly want it to do. Back 1 is a decent, safe mid poke, but with the threat of a 3-hit NCC string follow-up that can knock down and wall splat, which is back 1 2-2. Back 1-2 is a natural combo, but also be wary of the lack of tracking on all of the hits. Back 2 is a safe, long-range mid poke. Although you can use the string follow-ups to catch people trying to challenge it, the real benefit of the follow-ups are merely that they exist. That threat makes back 2 a fairly safe way to get in. Back 3 is a homing mid with good range, wall splats, can go back turn, and is safe due to the pushback. It is a tad slow, so be careful on that. Back 4, on the other hand, is a very fast homing move. It can also go back turn. Back 4-3 is a natural combo and will knock down wall splat, but that should be reserved for punishing since the string does not jail. Otherwise, you can spam back 4 at will. It is an extremely good poke. Up 4-3 is Law's fake flip. Up 4-3-4 is a safe mid launcher, but the flip by itself is nice for mind games. He can also stay full crouch afterwards for full crouch mix-ups. Up forward 4 is a standard hop kick, so good for a quick, mid, low crushing launch. Law's hop kick also does seem to have some pretty good hitboxes. Up forward 4 hold has good range, crushes lows, but also very good at beating highs in certain situations. Has the threat of a second flip, which tends to give it some safety, but it still has considerable risk. Main benefit is the big hitbox, since it can be hard for some characters to launch at max range. Forward 4-2 is a safe mid poke with 2 confirmable follow-ups, FF2-1 and FF2-3. FF2-3 is more powerful but more unsafe on block. Just get used to confirming it. Forward 4-3 is a mid power crush. Very unsafe on block, but wall bounces for big damage. Law's slash kick is one of the best and fits his toolkit perfectly. Somewhat linear as most slash kicks are, but if you practice doing it quickly, it's a fantastic low crushing pressure move. While standing 1-2 is a quick, confirmable NC string. It knocks down and wall splats. The confirm is kind of hard, but just practice it. You don't want them to duck and launch you on block. Law can't hop kick from full crouch, so while standing 2 is going to be your I-15 launch option. Longer range and fatter hitbox than a hop kick, but far less safe. While standing 4 by itself is a fairly standard, generic while standing 4, but what makes it powerful is the DSS cancel, which greatly buffs its utility. We'll discuss this more in the next video when we talk about DSS. Law's slide is his scary knockdown low, in particular as part of his full crouch mix-ups. If you get good at doing it quickly though, it can be a threat at any moment. It gives opponents a float on block, so it can be tricky for some characters to punish it. So that wraps up part 1 of our Law Basics guide. As always, keep in mind that these are just essentials. His move list has more than just these moves, so definitely experiment with the ones that you like. Otherwise, be on the lookout for part 2, where we will go over basic level topics and strategies, and of course, if anything changes with that Bakumam DLC, we'll of course cover that as well. And with that, we've now come to the part where I ask you to support our content. We have Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff, which you can find links to in the description below. Don't forget to also hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. And lastly, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We're trying to push everyone to go that route, since it's by far the best way to support indie content creators. So regardless, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you all. Stay safe, and we will see you for the next video.